You know, if I pass all the tests, I'm definitely going to California. I'm going to be a criminal lawyer. Of course, it all takes about 20 years.
But we'll be dead by then.
Well, I believe in having a goal. That way you succeed. Actually, that's your trouble. You've no ambition.
Welcome guys, it's your boy Blue. Welcome back to F1 2018. This is round 3 of my 100% distance career mode adventure and challenge. Hope you guys are here and all aboard. What's up, George? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Alex, welcome to the stream. CJ, welcome to the stream. Paul, welcome. DB Flies, welcome. Lewis, Graeme Porter, what's going on? Welcome, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining in today for round 3 of my Formula 1 2018 100% distance career. And we're going to find ourselves in China right now. What you're seeing on the screen is just a recap of last week's race at Bahrain, where we ended up finishing in 5th. You can see right there we had early damage on lap 1, and that trend continued throughout the whole race. We kept getting wing damage, but we ended up capitalizing on it. Had a crazy battle with Hamilton. If you want to see that full race, definitely go back and watch that video. But that was a whole lot of fun for sure. As you can see right here, I was battling head to head, door to door, I should say, wheel to wheel with Hamilton back and forth. It was a whole lot of fun. If you're just joining the series, we're racing with McLaren. We got a ride with McLaren, and we're doing okay. First race was a DNF. Second race we got 5th, and this is our 3rd race. But I got good news. We're gonna be starting on the freaking pole. Yes, I've already done qualifying, and it went very well. The whole practice session, I basically did the entire practice of all 3 practice sessions the entire time. I did all the track setup stuff. I actually worked on the actual setup this race. I'm pretty confident in the car. We dominated all of practice and qualifying, came in first by seconds. So all we gotta do is just pretty much cruise to the end of this thing and actually survive this race. There are some unknowns though, and that is I don't know how the tires are gonna act later on in the race. I haven't done a long run, and I also don't know how we're gonna do on fuel. So it's not given to us. We are starting in a good position. We just need to capitalize on it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our current game of F1 2018. As you can see here. There we go. So we're sitting here at the paddock, and I'm going to go ahead and click on race session as we kill the music. Hope you guys are having a great week, though. I'm looking forward to this race in China, in Shanghai International Circuit.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Blue lines up on pole position.
Yeah. Blue on pole position next to Vettel. Hamilton's behind us. Max Verstappen. Red Bull's been showing a lot of strength in practice, and so is Raikkonen. So those guys are not going to just give it to me. We may have qualified better than them, but I don't think they're just going to give this race to us easy, you know what I'm saying? And CJ Thu was asking, are there any VIPs in this race like I usually do? Yes, sir, there are VIPs. Obviously, you don't get a VIP seat in the car, but there are VIP seating around the track, and those VIPs go to George, Alex, Pete, CJ Thu, and RuPaul, DB Flies, and I'll give it to Lewis and Graeme. I'll give it to all you guys. for being here at the beginning of the race. So you guys, hopefully you'll enjoy that VIP seating, as well as the paddock and track pass. So you guys can basically go wherever the heck you want to go. RuPaul, I am not playing PUBG today. I have never played PUBG, so I don't even know why you're asking. But I appreciate the intro, RuPaul. Appreciate it, man. But let's get started, because I actually have other things I want to do today, and I want to get through this race. And let's see how it goes. Starley said, "How is Blue gonna be driving today?" We shall see. Let me make sure my audio and everything is working correctly. I have to turn the audio up a little bit for myself. That should be good right there. Every time I click on another screen, it pauses, and I really hate that. All right, so race strategy. Let's see. So we got two stopper. We can start off with ultra soft, and then move on to the soft and soft, or we can do a 3-stop race and use ultra soft, 3 sets of ultra softs, and then 1 set of super soft. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna do the 3-stop. I think that's the best strategy, to be honest with you. I'm not usually for doing more stops, but again, I'm a rookie in this series, so you never know. I might actually need it. So we've already got the setup taken care of. Like I said, I've actually worked on the setup myself this time, and so I'm pretty confident in the car. In the long run, it's going to get real slick, so that's one thing I'm a little worried about. Start on the pole or not, we got to make sure we don't wreck. There's no restarts, there's no assist, no flashbacks, so if I wreck, I wreck. So there's not going to be a restarting. That's how our race is going to end. So anyways, that being said, without further ado, let's do this dang thing. Hit select, and hit back, and we'll start the race. Alright, it's going to be our formation lap. Let's do a practice. There we go. That's not bad. A little practice start.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Alright, going around for our formation lap. We are starting off on the ultra soft tire. You can see the brakes are real cold right there, so we're going to warm those up going into the next corner. There we go. Braking real hard there. I'm going to lower my ERS mode and my fuel mix until we actually start the race. There's no reason for me running a high mixture if it's early in the race. Or it's not, I haven't even started the race. There's no point. What's up, Just Yarn? Good to see you. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? One quick reminder for you guys who may not be used to my racing streams. Once we get going, it's very tough for me to read chat. So please be patient with me. I'll read it as soon as I can. It's a bit easier when I'm doing NASCAR because there's yellow flags. I can read it during yellow flags, but in F1 there are very few yellow flags. Tires seem pretty warm. Brakes are good. We're going way too fast. So we'll just kind of do some swerving here, warm up the tires a bit. Uh-oh. What did I do? Why am I ghosted? What's up, SPO Lorenzo? This is not my first time in McLaren. This is our 3rd week. Removed from formation lap for going too slow. Uh-oh. I think it's just auto driving for me. What are you doing? What is the game doing? I'm not doing this, guys. It's on auto drive right now. I hope it disappears me. This is weird. I've never seen this happen. I broke it. Alright, well. Everybody's gritting behind me. It like broke and just like drove me off into the dirt. No damage done. We're okay. Alright, let's switch to... I can't. Oh, man. We need to switch to hot lap mode for the start. I love that engine sound. Alright guys, let's go green at the Chinese Grand Prix. Lights out. Mixed. Oh, Vettel on the inside. You know he's aggressive on the starts. Ooh. I think we're gonna beat him. No, not quite. Ah, come on. All right, we survived.
Let's focus now for the rest of the race.
It's okay. It's only one spot. We'll get it back. I'm gonna stay here in ERS 3. Wow, we're like so much faster than him right now. We'll switch to standard because we're not really pushing the car at the moment. Hamilton's behind us. Usually the first lap and like all the cars have a lot slower of a pace and they kind of pick it up as they go. So that could be the reason why Vettel's going so freaking slow. But there's nobody ahead of him, so there's no reason for him to slow down. All right, here we go. Let's lead this lap. Switching to ERS to hot lap. Drag racing. He has a little bit more downforce than us, or a little less downforce. Late braking. Woo. What up, Katie? Good to see you. And looks like we're going to lead lap 1 of the Chinese Grand Prix. With the fastest lap of 147, which is our opening lap, so that's not very fast. Let's see if we can open up the gap here and get outside of DRS range, which is about a 1 second gap or more. We are on the Ultra Softs. Pit window will be lap 8. We have 56 laps in this race, so it's gonna be a long one. Driving away, we're like so much. I'm telling you, man. I think it's because like the last few weeks, round 1 and round 2 that we did, Melbourne and Bahrain, I was kind of like just trying to figure out how the heck to drive F1 again. So I have been racing NASCAR, I've been racing GT cars and project cars. And I hadn't really been doing a lot of open wheel stuff, especially open wheel road course stuff. And so I was kind of just trying to get back used to driving like this. And so I think I was a bit slower the last couple of weeks. And maybe I'm just not as good as those tracks as well. And I also, another thing I think is going to give me a big gain in this race, as you can see my lead is already opening up big time on Vettel, is I did not really touch the setups the last couple of weeks. This is the first race that I actually changed the setup or customized the setup at all. Before I was using like the preset. So I customized it and I really spent a lot of time with it, to be honest with you. Like I didn't just like hit a preset and was like, all right, that's good. Like I actually probably turned about 15 to 30 laps. Thank you for that subscription. Welcome to the Blue Arrow Royal family. Sorry I can't say your name because I can't see that screen at the moment. But I do greatly appreciate it as we're getting a little bit of oversteer there. But yeah, this is my first time actually dipping into the F1 2018 setups screen. Really changing everything. I changed the downforce, front and rear downforce, messed with the suspension, even the differential I messed with a lot. Didn't seem to make much of a difference whether I had full lock differential or if I had unlocked. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's not good. He just said that the engine is showing some signs of wear and we might not get as much power out of it as we usually would. That's not a good sign. We're still using the same engine we had back at Melbourne. Same gearbox, same everything. So we have to make it last for I think 6 races. So we gotta be kind of careful. Kind of careful with the gearbox, how we're shifting, how we're handling the car. Hitting the curbs too aggressively could really hurt us later on. It might not hurt us in this race. I think we'll be safe for the car to make us to the end of this race. As you can see, the gearbox is 42%, MGU 38, ICE is 55. So I think we're okay for this race, but maybe a couple races down the line, we might have to switch them out, and hopefully we can make it last for the minimum amount of time that it's supposed to last, because if we change it out too early, we will get a penalty, a place penalty. But right now we are dominating. It's only lap 4. But again, even with a big lead, like I have to make sure that I just stay on the track. I don't get too like that right there. I don't get too cocky. I don't get too confident and start making mistakes like what just happened.
Gap to teammate behind is 18.2 seconds.
But yeah, I think the setup is really making a big difference. I also wish that F1 would, Formula 1 2018 would allow me to turn up the difficulty during the season. Like and this, if you guys know how, if you play F1 2018 and you know how to change the difficulty mid-season, please let me know, because I don't really know how to do it. Because I don't I don't want it to be easy. I want it to be a competition. Like last week I was really honestly driving as fast as I possibly could last week against Hamilton, and that was the best I could do. So it was a good competition. I guess it's kind of even at some tracks, because I'm better at some tracks than others. I guess I'm decent here in China so far. Alright, so he keeps mentioning that we're going to see a loss of power, and that makes me nervous. We're going to switch down to ERS low. We're not really racing anybody at the moment, and I keep overdriving that corner, and there we go. You can't change it? I appreciate it. But yeah, I practice a lot here. I practice on the medium tire, on the soft tire, and on the ultra soft. Very few laps on the ultra soft, but I mean, you don't stay on ultra soft tire for too long, anyways. It's only meant to be like kind of like a sprint type of tire where you only go for a little bit of time. Oh, still opening that gap. We're like seconds ahead of these guys in pace. We set a new fastest sector 1. Since we have such a big gap, we'll go ahead and start saving fuel as well, because that might come into play later on in the race.
Is 14.9 seconds.
Wow, the gap behind us is 14 seconds already. Might start lapping people. Alright, let's take a look at switch out to lean. I'm trying to stick with the low revs so we don't hurt the engine too much. The last thing we need is to be leading a race and then we blow an engine. Like, I don't want that. I'm feeling like Hamilton right now. He's driving away from the field. Hamilton is in second. He's past Vettel.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
I've always, every time I race any track, I've always struggled with that turn right there. Getting the timing right, getting the throttle right, going through that section, and the braking. I've gotten better since I've been practicing these last few days. But yeah, I actually do practice for these races that I stream, because I want to be able to do this all in one take live. So if I wreck, it's probably because of a lack of practice, to be honest with you. It's good to see McLaren up front, and it's good to see an American in the lead.
Let's turn up the ERS deployment and burn some of this energy.
I was just thinking about it. I was watching the Monza race last weekend, and I was like, you know, spoiler alert, Hamilton won. Nobody's surprised about that, but he you know, he won at Monza, which is the Italian Grand Prix, and so they booed him so bad. It was crazy. I've never seen people boo so horribly in an F1 race. I didn't realize it was going to be that big of a deal. But those Italians are hardcore Ferrari out there. That's Ferrari's home track. So they were booing.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
They were booing Hamilton so bad because he won the race. He was trying to give his thank you speech. And they were just like, the boos were just so loud. I always wonder though, like, does that fire him up? Or, like, I guess does that fire him up, like, make him more, like, because for some people, like, boos can just motivate you, like, yeah, that's what I'm talking, like, you accept the boos because you know you're doing something right, and for some people, obviously, it hurts them and it makes them upset, but I think for a guy like Hamilton, I think he's used to it. He's been so dominant for so long, it probably just motivates him to be even better. The same way in NASCAR with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has been really strong this year, and he's been getting a lot of boos because a lot of people hate him for a lot of different reasons. And whenever he wins, like, I mean, he completely deserves it. Like, he fights for him, like, not like he cheats or does anything wrong at all. Yeah, he did. He overtook Raikkonen towards the end of the race. It was a pretty good race. It was a decent race. Personally, I was rooting for Ferrari. I'm not a huge Mercedes fan. Between Mercedes and Ferrari, I vote, like, my vote is Ferrari. But for F1 in general, I vote for Red Bull and Haas.
Okay, window open. Let's box this lap.
All right, we're boxing this lap, says the engineer. Just follow that. I'll trust him and hope that he's correct. The first stint is always the shortest one. After that, we're gonna have some pretty long ones. We're only 8 laps right now, but we're gonna be splitting this last into this race with only one more stop after this one. Thankfully, we have not gotten any damage. This is probably, well, I can't say probably. This is definitely the best we've done all season long. CJ, you like Williams? Pretty cool, man. Williams is pretty cool. I feel like, sadly, like, I don't know why Williams doesn't have as much support. Like, I feel like Williams is one of the least favorite teams besides Force India. I personally, you know, I don't have anything against Williams' race team. I just don't really know much about them. I've never really known much about them.
Box now, please. Box this lap.
Alright, we'll be boxing this time. But I'm a big fan of Red Bull and Haas. After those two is Ferrari. I do like McLaren. I do like Renault. I also like Toro Rosso because it's also kind of Red Bull. Our front brakes. Oh, overdrove it. That's okay. We're getting rid of these tires anyways.
Be careful. We think you're going to start.
Now we got other people pitting as well. I have to watch the pit limiter here. Make sure we don't speed and get a penalty. There we go. Alright, first pit of the day. Gearbox is at 44%. ICE is 56. And MG 38. So I think we should be good on reliability today. Alright, holding the clutch down, and we're out.
Exit now. Only one stop to go.
I think that's a back marker ahead of me. One more stop in the strategy. I think that, who is that? Grosjean in 20th. He's not having a good race today, man. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, Bottas and Verstappen behind me. Looks like Hamilton probably pitted. Let's make sure we get around this, these back markers safely. Last thing I want is a wrecking one of them in my race. What's up, little Sophia? Welcome back. Good to see you.
It's time to use some of this charge.
Outlap's gonna be pretty slow. I think we got a good enough gap to not worry about it too much.
Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
Whoa. And cold tires. So Bottas came from Williams, huh? I don't know too much about the history of those guys. It is, Owen. I agree. This is going to be a very lonely race. We're not going to have... I mean, unless I make a huge mistake, which I hope I don't, we're going to be by ourselves for the majority of this race, so this may not be the most entertaining of our first 3 races of the season. I mean, I can't complain because it's going to be... If we stay this way, if we finish this way, we're going to have a win. Our first win of F1 in the Formula 1 2018 season. And my first ever win on this game. I haven't even won on the multiplayer or any other game mode. This is my first win ever.
We're leading our teammate by 21.8 seconds.
But we'll see. Let's not speak too soon. Let's not celebrate too soon. I'm using manual gear, so I am shifting myself. Whenever I play racing games, I pretty much 100% always use manual gearing, and I turn the assist off. So since this race is going to be, honestly, kind of boring probably, we're not going to have much competition, it seems. Maybe I should have just not changed my setup. Maybe I should have stuck with the default. But definitely come through chat, guys, with your questions and whatnot. Comments. I am using a wheel as well. My wheel has a paddle shifter. I don't have like a stick shift. I don't really prefer to use one anyways. I'm using the Thrustmaster T150 wheel, originally made for PS4. I'm using it on my PC. I love it though. I love this wheel, man. When I got a wheel, you just once you get a wheel, you just can't go back to not having a wheel. Like once I got a wheel, I never if for whatever reason I didn't feel like plugging the wheel in, like I just refuse to race without it, unless I'm playing like an arcade style racing game like GTA. Like Wreckfest, for example. Like you can use a wheel for Wreckfest, but it's just not a game that you should use a wheel for. Like you can just use a controller, and that's what I do for that. But for every other game that I play, Project Cars 2, F1, NASCAR, iRacing, I use a wheel, and I definitely enjoy it. It has force feedback and everything, so I can feel like you see the camera shaking and stuff. Like I feel all those bumps in my wheel.
Okay, some information on Perez. They're retiring from the race.
Uh-oh, Perez just retired from the race. What happened to him? The thing that would make this race a little interesting is we got a safety car. So everything I'm doing manually. I'm shifting manually. I'm actually switching my ERS manually, which is a energy reduction system or something like that. Energy something, I forgot what it meant. It basically gives me more power when I can save it for later. Oh my god. Caution. Uh-oh, somebody's off the track. Looks like that is Perez. He's gonna need a tow. What's up, DMP04? You've been waiting for what for so long?
The track is clear. Green flag.
Man, I was actually reading the chat and almost crashed. That's why I started spinning out. But I'm not really pushing the car too much. I'm on the fuel saver mode. Just trying to make it to the end of this thing. It's basically an endurance race for me at this point. How long can I stay focused for, we got 56 laps in this thing. Can I focus long enough to, can I run 56 clean laps without getting any damage, without spinning out? The tires are eventually going to get old and worn. I'm not going to be able to, hold on to the car at that point. So it's kind of like a me versus myself thing right now. As long as I don't beat myself, we're gonna win this thing. But I'm definitely gonna keep the setup for whenever I race online, when it's a little bit more competitive, and when I can turn the or if I do single player and I turn the difficulty up a bit more. I still hate myself right now for having the difficulty as low as I have it. Which is that I think we're set to like in the middle somewhere, like a high, medium, low, medium, something like that. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I mean, before even starting the stream, I have been practicing for a while, for a couple days for this race, so I don't anticipate myself losing control of the car on my own. DMP04, we actually qualified on the pole position today. It's our first pole of the season, my first pole ever on this game. We had a really good practice sessions, 3 really good practice sessions that was not streamed. Also had a very good qualifying session, which was also not streamed. I'm only streaming the race this time. And we qualified first by like 2 seconds. So when that happened, I was like, yeah, this is going to be, you know, I'm either going to wreck or we're going to dominate this race. There's only 2 ways this race is going to end. Either with us dominating, probably lapping half of the field, or me wrecking and being really upset at myself. So, again, I'm taking it pretty easy, saving my tires. I'm in here for the long run, for the long haul. Probably driving around here for about an hour. And I gotta stay focused, keep the wheels on the track, stay out of the grass. We do have one more pit stop. Let's see, whoops. It's gonna be on lap 32. A ways from now. Between 32 and 41 is what it says.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
But again, I don't, even with the difficulty at what it is at, I don't expect to do this every week. I mean, the difficulty has not changed since the beginning of the season, and you saw we've been having some really close races. Like, I got 5th at Bahrain last week, and that was the best I could do. Like, I was not faster than the other guys. And yeah, I agree, I can't keep using the same setup. I'll be probably doing setups for every track that I go to. So next week, wherever that is, I'll be working on a new setup for that track. So, I'm in the USA, if you don't know, and me and a friend of mine have been thinking about going to the American Grand Prix, which is in Austin, Texas, which is in the same state as I am. I kind of starting to think I'm not going to go, just because of money reasons, and it's coming up in less than a month now, I believe. And I have some other things I need to take care of and pay for, so I might have to miss it again this year. It'll be pretty, I guess you could say I'm pretty sad that I'm not going to go. I really want to go. I've never been to a Formula 1 race in real life. I went to my first ever NASCAR race a few months ago in Texas Motor Speedway. That was a crazy, amazing experience, a whole lot louder than I had expected it to be. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. So I was like, man, I would love to go to a Formula 1 race. And we have one that's, I think it's about 2 or 3 hour drive away from where I live. It's not very far. I can just drive up there on a Sunday morning and leave on Sunday night, watch the race, or I can stay there for the whole weekend. They have tickets that allow you to stay and hang out the whole weekend. But yeah, man, I would love to go. I just don't think it's going to work out. I know I'm not busy. That's the thing. I know I'm not busy that weekend as of now. It's just that I'm not going to have the money to go, because I need to spend that money on some other things that are, I guess, more important than Formula 1. But there's always next year. Track's not going anywhere. Hopefully Formula 1 will continue to go to that track. I wanted to go last year, because it's actually a very new track. It's one of the newer tracks that were added to the F1 schedule. The track was recently built in the last few years. It's called Circuit of the Americas. Ooh, I'm getting a really bad understeer right there. I wanted to go last year. I wasn't able to go. So we'll make it out there. It's not very far. We'll make it out there eventually. Also thinking about driving up to Daytona or somewhere for a Daytona 500 next year. Me and my friend have been discussing that, the thoughts and ideas of maybe giving that a try. It's a bit longer of a drive. It's about 12-hour drive from where I am to Florida. And probably 13, 14-hour drive to the part of Florida Daytona is in. I actually did say that last year, CJ threw. Oh God, this is what happens when I read chat and drive. Alright, I gotta pay attention to the track. We're not gonna make it to the end of this thing. But yeah, I did say that last year. Last year I was like, oh, maybe next year. Now it's next year and I can't go again. Great. But I know I'll get there eventually. So I'm gonna have to read the chat on the straights because when I'm turning, it's when it's the most dangerous. One of the issues that I overdrove that corner is because I was reading the chat during the straight, but I forgot where I was on the track. I was like, which turn is this? Which way am I going? Ooh, hold on. Downshifted a little bit too much. Favorite F1 driver in F1 is probably somebody asked me that last video, and I wasn't able to answer. It's the guy who's not leaving Red Bull. I always forget his name. I'm not like super knowledgeable about F1 stuff yet. I'm still learning everybody's names. Still getting used to two people driving the same color car. Either Verstappen or Raikkonen. Not Raikkonen, sorry. Verstappen or Ricardo. Verstappen, okay. He's the one who's not leaving? Oh yeah, Ricardo's the one who's leaving to, I think he's going to Renault next year. Which I still like him, and I'm definitely going to be rooting for him when racing for Renault. Hopefully he'll make that team better next year. My favorite driver is the one who's not leaving Red Bull. Not because he's staying with Red Bull, but just because I just remember liking him. I'm going to switch to ERS2. Running low on battery. Catching up some back markers as I go off track again. McLaren. Yeah, we're overdriving these corners bad. Thankfully, we're like so much faster than everybody. We're 39 seconds ahead of Hamilton, which is in second place. Mercedes are holding down second and third. We can get some really good points if we can finish up front in this race. I think right now we're 10th place in standings, if I remember that correctly. McLaren's changing the whole team. Yeah, Alonso's leaving, right? Alonso's leaving. I don't know where he's going. Somebody said he was going to IndyCar. I don't know if that's true. Somebody told me Alonso was going to IndyCar, which I'm all for because I love IndyCar. And I hope he dominates freaking IndyCar. I love Alonso. I've always been a pretty big fan of Alonso. Looks like Williams right there. Our first back marker we're going to be approaching. Take him on the right side. Ooh, a little bit of lag right there. Ooh, runs the track. Oh, I got DRS right there. So in racing news, though, one thing I do know, and it was confirmed yesterday, and I'm extremely sad about it, because I actually really like this guy, and that is, if you guys follow NASCAR at all, Martin Truex Jr., he was last year's NASCAR champion. He won the whole series last year and he's being extremely competitive this year. They're like one of the top 3 drivers, maybe even one of the best drivers going into the playoffs for NASCAR this year. And they just announced, their team just announced that they will be closing its doors next year due to a lack of funds, which is crazy that the championship team could be struggling financially. And you would assume, you would think they're making, you know, a good amount of money, but you would assume they would be attracting all the best sponsors because they are the best team. And they've proven to be the best team. But it's crazy. I don't understand what's going on with the NASCAR economy that the champions can't keep the team together. I mean, I know it's only a single car team. They only have 1 car, when most of the other major teams that they're competing with all have like 4-car teams. Here comes Ericsson ahead of us. 17th place is the back marker. So I'm really sad about that. They said that he's moving to the 19 car of Daniels. Actually, Daniel Suarez used to drive the 19. They said that he's moving to that car next year. So my question is, where is Daniel Suarez going? Blue flag here, Marcus Ericsson.
Our gap behind is
Thank you, sir.
0.5 seconds.
DRS. Let's see how our tire is doing. We're on lap 19. %10% in the front, 13 in the back. So tire's doing well. We still have a while to go until we have to pit for tires again. Might be to make it even longer. Engine's looking decent. Hopefully it looks good next race. With what he said about us losing power, it really makes me worry, because if we're not allowed to change out components to the engine between races, we may suffer next week for reliability in our car. That's what I'm thinking too, CJ. At this rate, we might lap everyone. Let's see. We're not even halfway. And I can see pretty much everybody up there. I'm looking forward to lapping people because, you know, you kind of get bored of driving around by yourself. Another thing I'm looking forward to, actually 2 more things. Actually, a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. So I don't know if any of you guys are Battlefield fans. But Battlefield 5 open beta is open now, actually, and but only for people who have pre-ordered the game. And tomorrow it will open up for everybody else, like me, who haven't pre-ordered the game. I refuse to pre-order Battlefield 5 because I don't even know if I like it yet. DMP04, does this game come with failures? Yes, it does, but it doesn't come with like random failures where like something random will just happen. It's more of like, over a few races, certain parts will wear out, and if you don't maintain those parts, they will fail during a race. So right now, if you look over here, hold on, let me get into a straightaway where I can actually look at it. There we go. So as you see right here, it has a percentage of wear on each component of our engine right there. And so as the race goes on, you see those numbers climb, and those numbers don't reset every race. They will actually continue. So next race, they will keep going up until certain parts will actually stop working. And those parts can stop working in practice. They can stop working in a racing session. So that's why you want to really take care of, especially like your gearbox and stuff like that, because some of those parts have regulations that you can only change them after a certain amount of races, and if you do change them, you'll get a grid penalty. What's up, Apia? Good to see you, man. Welcome. So it doesn't have random failures, but it does have failures. Basically, just reliability failures. It's happened to me in F1 2017. It usually happens a lot earlier in the season. I think they edited how long parts make it. I've also, in my R&D department, I've focused some time on reliability. I'm hoping that we can make our parts last, because the last thing we need is to be like winning a race like this or competing for the win, and we have to slow down in order to make it to the race because our parts won't make it to the end, you know. But that's one of the things I really like about F1 2018 and the whole series is when they added the ability that you had to maintain all your parts in your car. Like, that's just pretty cool, especially in career mode. Like, if you're just doing a regular race, single player race, multiplayer race, it doesn't matter.
Okay, the gap behind is 42.
But depending on how you drive, depending on how aggressive you are on a throttle, aggressive you are shifting, all those things matter to how long those parts will last throughout the season. And I believe, I could be wrong, you guys can correct me, but I think like the gearbox, for example, right, which is 46% right now, can only be changed out every 6 races or something like that. So we're on race 3, and you know, I'm thinking that we need to finish this race, you know, below 50%, because if we've done 3 races at 50%, that means at 6 races we're not going to have a gearbox. Matter of fact, at 4 or 5 races, gearbox is going to be not working very well because it's going to be above 50% wear. Yes, exactly, CJ. Sometimes you'll lose a gear. So, like, if your gearbox wears, you can lose a gear randomly throughout the race. Like, you'll lose, like, gear 5, gear 2, gear 3. It's just kind of really annoying when it happens. It's just really inconvenient because you'll have to double shift. Or you don't really double shift. It just shift. Like, if you'll shift in the second, and it'll go in the third. And you'll lose a little bit of, you know, acceleration because you're missing a gear. Or it could be one of the high gears, which will, you know, hurt your top speed and whatnot. You can change it whenever you want. Okay, good to know. I thought you had to. I thought there was a regulation on how often you can change a gearbox. Coming up with some more back markers. We might, at this pace, lap everyone. Let's see. We start seeing Ferraris. We start seeing Ferraris, we'll know. Look at the ICE's at 59%. That thing jumped, and it's not green anymore. So it's hurting. So we'll take a look at that again later. Let's get a real quick race update from our engineer.
You're leading the pack. P1 Hamilton behind. The gap behind us is 44.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit window will open in 10 laps time. Pit window opens in 10 laps. There are 35 laps left in the race.
Yeah, that's it. I was hoping for a more detailed race update there. What is ICE? I am really trying to remember. If somebody could like Google that for me right now, that would be amazing. I think it's like combustion something. I don't remember exactly. It's very important though, whatever it is. As you can see, it's a huge part of the engine, of the power system. I think it's electronics. It might be electronics. I'm heavy on fuel. What am I at? I am, actually. We have 4. We're 4 to green. Almost 5. We've been running on lean this whole time because we've just been so much faster than everyone else. I don't need to go to the higher mixture. It's Hartley. Letting us by. I'm not paying attention to that part of the screen. I'm looking ahead of me, guys. Internal combustion engine. Thank you, Lee Carter. I appreciate that. %, in the rear. We got 10 laps on these tires. Car feels good. I'm not really getting too much oversteer. Mainly on exit is where we're going to feel it. Temperature's looking good. I think I'm being a little too, I'm shifting down too early. And that's what's hurting something. Here comes Hulkenberg and Ocon, as well as Gasly. That's 14th, 13th, and 12th. These guys are not even racing for points. Instead of fastest sector 1 somehow. Maybe because I actually have somebody ahead of me to drive against. Alright, let's see about getting by these guys. Thank you, sir. Bruh, if you made contact, no damage, I'm gonna kill you if you knock my wing off. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Oh god. Don't touch me, bro. Ooh. Okay. Jesus. No DRS. He got it though. Alright, we're clear. He's letting us by. That was interesting. Partly my fault. It was mad sketchy, yes it was. But it finally got some interesting action happening. We've been riding by ourselves the whole time. Last week we basically started in the back and we had to drive all the way up to 5th, so the whole race we were basically trying to catch up, driving through the pack. We got stuck behind Hulkenberg for a while. This week is a little bit different. A lot different. DRS down to medium. Tell you, one person who liked that little thing was Pierre Gasly. Got him a nice lead on Hulkenberg after that little scrap. Alright, next up, who is that? Who's next on our chopping block? Almost halfway in this race. Leclerc. He had a really bad race. Where was that at? He had a really bad flip. I think it was Monza? Is that him? That's what Rosa. That was the week before. Thank you, DMP04. He says the ICE is an internal combustion. Let me read that in a second. We finished turning. That is 11th place ahead of us. Yeah, let me read that once we get on the straight. There's a lot of words to look at and not look at the screen. Definitely want to say I appreciate you guys though, who are watching. It's races like this are more entertaining for me when I'm able to talk to you guys and interact with you guys. If I was just recording this race, it would have been boring. Yeesh. Alright, now I can see everyone. You can only change it a certain amount of times. Okay, hold on, I gotta break again. We'll have to read it in the long stretch. Who's that behind me? Is that a sign? Yeah, I'm starting to feel the tire wear. Okay, so yeah, so the East ICE you can only change a certain amount of times, and only have a certain amount of races, something like that. Cool, good to know. So that means we have to change it out. Hopefully, we're within our limits of changing it out. Oliver, good to see you, man. Welcome back. Right now we're 2 seconds off of our fastest time. But we're still faster than them. Some of them, the guys back here, faster than the back markers, obviously. There's Magnussen. And 10th. Once we pass him, things might get a little less interesting because there's not as many back markers. I've been really enjoying F1 2018 though. I'm really hoping I'll be able to finish the season this year. Last year I wasn't able to finish it. I started it. I've only did like one race. That's about as far as I got. But we've already made it the third race. The real life F1 season is coming to a close. I think what they're past the halfway point. I think there's like 7 races to go. And so I'm really sad to see the thought of racing season being over so quickly. All the racing seasons are kind of towards the end of the seasons. NASCAR is coming up on the playoffs. IndyCar is coming up to the end of the season. F1 only has 7 more races. So, not looking forward to racing season being over. As well as IMSA too, if any of you guys like watching the sports cars. I do watch that from time to time. I'm just a racing fan in general, so.
Stop was in for his stop.
Alright, sounds like our teammate just entered the pits. Not sure if that was scheduled or what. But NASCAR Heat 3 is coming out later this week, so definitely expect to see me streaming and posting videos for that. Pretty excited about that game. And there's a new DLC coming out for the Chevy Camaro on iRacing. It might be out now. I was actually waiting for it to come out before I started streaming because I was debating on if I was going to stream this race or if I was going to stream me racing on iRacing with the new Camaro. But it took too long. So after this is over, I'll probably hop on there, and I made some new paint jobs for it, so I need to test those out. Depending on what time it is and what I got going on, I might actually stream me doing some of that race, some of that. I do have a NASCAR iRacing series race to do later today, so I still got to practice for that and get the setup ready and all that good stuff. Gadget Fly, what's up, man? Welcome. DMP, I missed what you said earlier. If it was important, you can send it again. I was not able to read whatever it says. It just disappeared off of my screen, so I can't go that far back in the chat. We are in first. We've been leading, dominating the race so far. But again, I'm not celebrating yet. Shifted down way too soon. Too much. I'm doing good though, thanks for asking. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, man. Here at the Chinese Grand Prix, round 3 in our season. First race, we got a DNF. We were doing really good, so we were racing for a top 5 at Melbourne. And got you know, like there's like 5 to 3 laps left, and I just screwed up and wrecked it. And since we're not doing any restarts or any flashbacks or replays, none of that, I was not allowed to restart the race. Sounds like Verstappen is having an issue. So he's probably going to be in the pits to fix that and come back out. First day of school, yeah, that sucks. I remember that. Yep, long way to go. We are past halfway. Just past halfway. But we still have a long way to go. Have a long way to go. So I still have to pay attention. I still have to concentrate, because if I don't, if I wreck it, that's the end of our race. And we led all these laps for no reason, for no points. We'll be pitting pretty soon, though.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Alright. We'll be pitting again. We're switching to the softs again for our last stint. But yeah, NASCAR Heat 3 comes out in a couple days, so excited about that. Be racing that. Be doing some more iRacing stuff with the new Chevy Camaro Z01. I got some really dope new liveries coming out for that. Can't wait to post those pictures on Instagram, so make sure you check those out. And as always, we'll be continuing our F1 2018 season to round 4, wherever that is. I'm not sure what track that goes to. Hopefully we have a good race next week too. We'll see how the career goes, because the career might throw some curveballs at us. Not really sure what all to expect. I mean, because I know that we can have a new. I know that we can like make new rivals and whatnot, and we could also renegotiate our contract, which I think definitely needs to happen. If we win this race, we're definitely renegotiating our contract. Oliver, I do not have school. I don't go to school. I don't do that anymore. I graduated. I finished. I survived it. I conquered it. I did it. I finished it. Ooh, we almost slid the tire. I think we slid the rear tires there. I think we're gonna be pitting on 32. The next lap. Yeah, so as far as my setup, like I'm kind of the AI. They have less downforce than me. So when you see me going head to head with them on the straights, you'll see them actually passing me. But I have a huge gain on them in the turns, because my setup is just working so much better. I think the suspension mixed with the downforce, I'm able to hit the turns so much quicker than they are, and that's where I'm really beating them the most. It's so much different racing F1. Like in NASCAR, I'm like just fighting the wheel. I don't know if anybody watched my Darlington race that I did last week. I was fighting the wheel the whole time, like drifting the thing. You can constantly see the wheel just like rocking back and forth and just sawing at it. Alright, Oliver, see you next time, bro. Let's see how we're doing on gas. 7 laps. We have 7 laps of extra fuel. We're good. I think that's our Renault ahead of us.
We're going to box this lap. Push hard on the in lap.
Alright, boxing this time. Let's go ahead and use the rest of these tires up. See how we're doing on tire wear. 30% in the rear, 23 in the front. That was our fastest sector 1 of the whole race. Big gains on signs right there.
The gap to the car behind is 49.1 seconds.
He slowed us down. I was going to try to get a fastest lap here. We've been hitting this time by. I screwed that up. Completely screwed that up. Ooh, come on, turn it. He's IC's at 61%. That's not good. That's not going to make it to the next race. I think we'll be good for this race, but it's not going to make it to our next race. This will probably be our last race using that ICE unit. Alright, we're boxing in. Go. That's our last stop of the day. See if we can finish this race up front. Alright, see you, Justin. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Alright, clutch down.
Go now.
We're off. I'm getting better at that. I'm trying to get better at it.
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
I think we're good on tire wear. At last race, I mean, sorry, last stint. We were still pretty, obviously we were still pretty quick on those old tires, so I think we're good. We can go ahead and switch to rich. We can stop playing around. We can go ahead and turn the rich up. I'm sorry, the fuel mix. We were 7.5 laps in the green, so we could probably run rich from here on out. But we do have what, 20 something laps to go, so I don't think we can run rich the entire time. I'll leave it in standard. We'll eventually move it up to rich. We don't even need it. Another failure that you can have is that it won't allow you to use some of the different engine modes, like standard or rich or lean. Like, it won't allow you to switch into those engine modes if you're having a reliability issue with your engine unit or whatever, your power unit. Ricardo is Ricardo. This is our internal game. You can see me. Welcome back. That's going to be Van Dorn ahead of us. Letting us by. Magnussen again. I don't think he's pitted yet. I don't think any of these guys have pitted yet. These are our back markers. We got DRS on our side.
The battery is low on energy. Reduce ERS deployment.
Raikkonen in second place now. Fast sector 1 of the day. Ooh, cut a little short there. Not too happy on the throttle there.
Our gap behind is 53.9 seconds.
We have a 53-second gap on second place right now. I used to be really good at this corner right here. I just can't figure it out this time. Fastest lap, 141.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
See if we can break that. In practice, we ran a 137. I think, yeah, 137 was our fastest lap in practice on the ultra soft tire. Obviously, this is the race, so race pace is going to be a bit slower. But It's possible. Man, I gotta make it through that section good. Like that's one section of the track that I'm really suffering on. Even 35 laps in this race. Alright, back ERS to high. Oh man. Oh, did I hit it? Nope, I didn't hit it. I thought I hit it. I always hit that cone. At least once. We have not hit it yet. The car might have just bottomed out really bad. Hope you guys are not getting dizzy. Think about the lap this guy's second time. Yeah, going into this race, I started out saving fuel because last week we had to cut it. We were real close on fuel and on tires. We were suffering from tire wear, and we almost did not make it to the end on fuel and make it to our goal we were looking to get. So this race, I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and save fuel from the beginning when it's clear, just in case it's one of those races. But it seems like it's not going to be one of those races. There's a Red Bull ahead of us. Not sure which one yet. There's so much Flight Emirates advertising here. It's crazy. Every corner has Flight Emirates advertising. So that's 6th place ahead of us. Which means after I pass Verstappen, there will be 5 cars on the lead lap. That was our fastest sector 2. Sense. So Verstappen is having a problem with his car. That sounds like Red Bull. What the heck is wrong with their parts? Always breaking down. Nice, fastest lap right there, 4-0. Fast sector 1. Classic Red Bull, yes sir, Owen. But they have really fast cars. I mean, they really do. I don't understand why they keep having reliability issues. Apparently they switched to like some new engine or something, or power unit last week, and they still blew it up. Take him on the left. Gave it to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Roman. DRS enabled. Yeah, man, we're cruising today. Probably be more enjoyable if we had to earn a win, but I'll take it any way I can get it. So yeah, don't be surprised. There's going to be a lot of racing on the channel this week, so just letting you guys know. I will return to some flight sim stuff as well, so I don't think I forgot about that. There's just a lot of things happening in the racing community this week, and a lot of things that I want to do myself too. So there's going to be a lot of racing on the channel this week, so just bear with me. Be patient if you're waiting on different type of content. But I do appreciate everybody who does watch the racing videos and live streams. I really do enjoy racing, and I'm glad you guys are able to just kind of hang with me and enjoy it with me. I think when it comes to like my interests, like racing and flight simulation, or aviation I should say, racing and aviation are very close in competition with each other for my brain. Like if you go to my Instagram, it's all racing and like aviation. Like either you'll see a racing photo or you'll see an aviation photo. And then I have all those other random interests as well that pop up, like the Hunter that I play. Red Bull switched to Honda engine this year. Thank you for that information. DRS is very low right now. We've been burning it up. It's Ericsson going a second lap down. He's really slow. Wow. It's Alfa Romero, Saber. Thank you, sir, for your cooperation. Oh, we slid it a little bit, went in the grass. Lost a little traction on the left front tire. We're okay. I don't think we flat spotted it or anything. Alright, let's see how the car's doing. We have 16, just about 16 laps to go. Tires are 9% in the front, 11% in the back, so we're running pretty good. Car feels good, not having too much understeer or oversteer. Let's see, brakes are nice and warm. No failures. We were 62% on the ICE, 51% on the gearbox. I was hoping to finish this race below 50% on the gearbox, but that's not going to happen. We'll see how that affects us in the rest of our season. I'll have to take a look and see if there's any regulations on changing that gearbox out. It may not be, as you guys said, but I could have swore you had to use a gearbox for a certain amount of races, or it might have been the ICE I was thinking about. There's some component that you have to use for certain races. Again, since we're not really racing anyone right now, I mean, it's a really good time for us to, you know, take care of our parts. Like, you can make sure you don't hit the rev limiter too much, so I believe that would hurt your gearbox. You don't hit the curbs too much, because I think that'll also hurt your gearbox. Slightly, not like really bad. I'm touching it. We're still 7 laps in the good. We can switch to Rich. I just really don't need to, and I feel like it might stress the engine more than we need to, anyways. And I don't feel the need to switch to Rich. Like, obviously we could go faster, but there's just no need at this part of the race. In the situation we're in, there's just no need to go to Rich. And I'm thinking beyond this race. I'm thinking of next race. I'm thinking of all that stuff. Well, those things might not matter, but just in case they do, I'm gonna take care of my my car. I want to win more races this year. We did have a few spins in practice, which is normal. Had a bit of wound damage. I did P1, 2, and 3. Or practice 1, 2, and 3. Practice 1 I spent on doing like all the different testing programs that they give you. And then practice 2 and 3, I just kind of spent time working on a setup. And each of those practice sessions were about an hour long. So I didn't speed up time or anything like that. I actually sat down and tried to work on the setup and get it right, and it's working great. Overdrove that a bit. No worries, Max. Don't worry about it, bro. All good. Another back marker ahead of us. I think it's going to be Williams. We haven't caught the top 5 yet. Not sure where they are. Trust me, I'm pretty sure every race is not going to be like this. I wouldn't want to be. Captain BRH, what's up, man? Welcome. That's a Stroll right there. I don't think we've passed. Yeah, that's season 15, so we've passed him. One thing I worked on a lot in practice and working on the setup was trying to get grip on exit, like grip on the throttle. And I was really struggling for grip on throttle. Like when I go through a sequence of corners like this, and I'm trying to get back in the throttle, which I feel like is when you can really gain the most speed. I was just spinning the tires, and I was trying to figure out what can I do to get more grip on the exit after the apex. And I was changing the differential around. That seemed to work a little bit, and also adding some downforce to the rear wing. But then eventually I ended up taking it out, and I just did some suspension changes. I honestly don't know what exactly helped. I also was doing a lot of my testing on old tires, so I had to change the new tires so you could feel the difference, because the old tires were already slippery no matter what the setup was, and I overdrove that corner. Thank you, Max. I did my best. Almost done here, about 12 laps to go. 12 laps from our first win on our rookie season. We can just hold together for 12 more laps. We will get our first win. Rode that curve all the way around. You gotta be careful when you hit those curbs because you can easily, if you put too much throttle on when you're on the curb, it'll spin you out real quick. Fast sector 2. Not today, Captain. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like it's getting a little bit more overcast with the track. Like, looks like some clouds are moving in or something. It's a little bit more shade on the track than it was when we first started, which is actually kind of cool. I don't believe there's any night and day transitions in game, but the sun is definitely moving. These are just, no, maybe not the sun, but the clouds are moving. There's certain parts of the track that are kind of shaded that weren't shaded before. And that is a Ferrari ahead of us. I'm looking forward to putting him a lap down. And that is Raikkonen in 5th. Raikkonen, putting Raikkonen a lap down. Or lap. 4 cars on the lap down. In Abu Dhabi, it does a day-to-night transition. That's pretty dope. I didn't know that. I'm looking forward to racing in Abu Dhabi. I love that track. I'm not very good there. I just like the track. I mentioned this in last week's race, but one of the main reasons that I do these longer races is to really experience the entire race experience. Like if you just do those short sprints, you know, you're tired. You know, you don't get the tire wear. You don't get the race strategy. You don't have to save fuel. Like, all of that is part of the full racing experience. You know, I guess that's just my style of play. You know, I'm not really a sprint racer. I like kind of doing longer races. Usually, I'm more of a 25% race guy for F1 2018. For this series, I'm doing full races, 100%, because I've never done it before. I want to try it. But I usually do about 25% race, which is usually, I don't know, 15 laps. Which in F1 is a significant amount of laps to do. You know, it gives you enough time to get one pit stop in, change tires and whatnot. That's my kind of you know, my kind of race. I like to be able to do pit stops and stuff like that. So sometimes strategy can come into play. These longer races is when you can really tell. Like, I mean, you're feeling tired where you have multiple pit stops to do. You know, reliability comes into play as well as your parts start to wear in these longer races. Consistency. You know, mental toughness, all that. Oh, that is a Mercedes ahead of us. What's up, Itchy Fish? Good to see you. What's up? 10 laps to go this time, by. Closing in on a Mercedes. Probably Bottas. Pretty sure, yes, exactly who that is. That's 4th place. Working on our first win, a dominating one if we make it. We have led every single lap in this race so far. I honestly was not expecting it to go this way. Especially after racing so hard and so close with Hamilton last week. Some of the other drivers. Putting a Mercedes a lap down will be very enjoyable to me. In a McLaren. That was our fastest sector 2. Now I have motivation. And we just put Bottas a lap down. 20% in the rears. Next up is going to be Ricardo. He's ways up there. I don't know if we're going to catch him. Man, I'm not getting my turn in right in that corner. As you can see now, it's brighter in this turn. It was darker a few laps ago. Probably a cloud blocking the sun or something. What up, Ollie Bobs? Good to see you, man. Welcome. We're almost done here. 8 laps to go. Something like that. Let's get a real quick race update.
You are in first position, front of the pack. Hamilton is behind you. They're on old softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 9 laps to go.
Oh, 9 laps to go. Sorry about that. I can't count. Looks like we have, I don't think that's Ricardo. I think that's somebody else. Nope, that's not. That's Alfa Romeo. You know, I actually thought about getting an Alfa Romeo car. Not that I could afford it, but like, thought about adding it to my list of cars that I would get if I had the money to get it. And when I saw the interior, it turned me off completely. Like, Alfa Romeo cars are a beautiful car on the outside. Exterior car is just great. Like, it's one of the nicest, sexiest looking cars out in the market of its type. But the interior is so outdated to me. Like, I mean, maybe if that's what you're into, but like, there's no screens. I mean, it's just basic. It's like they cut corners and they're like, all right, outside looks cool. Let's just put like a 1998 body. I mean, 1998 interior in it. My dream car, though, when it comes to like street cars, like for driving, not for racing, is the Aston Martin. I love Aston Martin. If I could have any car right now, it would be the Aston Martin in black. All black Aston Martin. Like, I like Ferraris, I like McLarens, but I'm more into like, I'm not into the supercars. I don't know if those are considered supercars, but I'm not really, I'm just not into that too much. Like, I definitely enjoy how they look. I can appreciate them when I see them at car shows, but it's just not something I want to drive around. But I can't say that I would not, if I had the opportunity to drive one, I would definitely take it for a spin. And I would love the heck out of it. Okay, there we go. That's what happens when you don't pay attention.
Okay, the boots aren't looking plenty of life left in them. Let's make sure we keep managing them properly.
Alright, just gives us a little update on the tires. We said we're looking good on them. Welcome back, CJ. No problem, bro. No need to apologize. I have not lapped everyone yet. I'm working on 4th place right now. I think I just lapped one of the Mercedes cars. I believe Ferrari is next. Not really sure. I don't know if we're going to catch him though. We're not really gaining on him too quickly. We're running out of laps here. Good thing is that we're not just alone. There's actually back markers and things to see and look at and pass. I believe there's only 3 or 4 cars going to do that. I could be wrong. Maybe we lapped 4th place. Did we lap 2 Ferraris? I only saw 1. So right now we have me, we have Hamilton, we have Ricardo on podium. And it looks like we have Red Bull ahead of us, ahead of these 2 back markers. He's gonna let us go here. Oh, you're so nice. Keep locking it up right there. For no reason. For no reason at all. Fastest sector 1. Not sure how. Whatever, we'll go Rich. Go ERS 3. That's Gasly right there in 11th. Give it to us. Not so much. Yep, he is. That was our fast sector 2 as well. And that is Red Bull ahead of us. Yep, that's Ricardo. That's in 3rd place. So there's only 3 cars on the lead lap, including me. Already passed 1 Red Bull. Ooh-wee. Good save. Speaking of eating, CJ, I'm getting hungry myself. Hello, Ricardo. Welcome back. Guess who's here? I love how it actually kicked up grass into my visor. That's really cool. We didn't go into grass. We just kind of got off of the racing line. All right, now 2 cars in the lead lap. Me and Hamilton. This is payback for last week, Hamilton. Making a statement in this race. I'm here to stay. We might, that's not Hamilton ahead of us. I think that's a Williams car. I think Hamilton's a bit farther ahead. Is that him? Oh yeah, that's not him. Only a few laps though to catch him if we do. Magnussen again ahead of us. That's 10th place. Team is going to be really happy with this win. Whew. A little oversteer on those high-speed turns right now because these old tires. Let's see how we're doing. 28% in the rear. .65% in the ICE, 54% on the gearbox. That's our fastest lap of the day.
Keep this up.
Oh, whoa. Wrong button. Hold on. I accidentally flashbacked. Okay, we're back in the current time. I was trying to close this out. Way slow going in that turn. Got in the brakes too early. Just a couple laps away from victory. If we can just hold on to this car, not make any mistakes. To be our first win of the season. Our rookie F1 season. We're going to win the McLaren for the first time in a very long time. The first win for an American in an even longer time. Looking forward to hearing my name on the podium. Maybe I'm celebrating too early. Let's hope not. Let's not jinx it. Two to go. Let's finish strong. Wow. Wheels spin badly right there.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
Car's trying to get a handful. The car still feels fine, it's just I can't push it like I would earlier in the run. All the tires are getting pretty warm. Finish this thing strong. Okay. Chill out. White flag. One more lap to go.
This is your final lap of the race.
I don't know if they have white flags in F1, but final lap. Sounds good. Let's go. Down the final stretch. Just 2 more turns. Do you see the checkered flag? Here we go. The rookie racing from McLaren. Crosses the finish line first, baby.
Absolutely fantastic.
Woo.
It's a brilliant result. Well done.
Man.
What a fantastic Grand Prix that was, and an excellent win for McLaren. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one.
Wow.
As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium.
Yes, sir.
Great
Yeah.
race from the McLaren team, and I'm
Yeah,
really happy
you.
to see them there on the top step of the podium.
Woo. I really wish they let me do burnouts. I don't know if that's a thing. USA on the podium. First Formula One career win. Hamilton in second, I believe. Ricardo third on the podium.
Let's take a look at the driver's standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, after a drive like that, it's got to be Nico Hülkenberg, hasn't it? Very clean, very smooth. He can be really pleased with that one.
And now let's take a look at the constructors'
Started
standings.
first,
We saw a dip in form from
finished
the
first.
championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. There
Let's
was
take a
also
look at
a
the
strong
standings.
showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come
So
this
we bring
season. I hope you
McLaren
can join us at
and
the next
myself
race
up
see
to
just who
5th
will come
place
out on top.
in the points behind Verstappen. Hamilton's in third, and Raikkonen is in second. Vettel maintains the championship lead currently. Got Bottas in 6th, Ricciardo in 7th, Sainz in 8th. He gained a few points today. Hülkenberg drops, and Romain Grosjean also drops. So Van Dorn all the way up to 11th in the points today. So good race for us, obviously. Constructor standings, it looks like McLaren was up to 4th place behind Ferrari in 1st, Mercedes in 2nd, Red Bull in 3rd. It puts us as the 4th strongest team so far this year. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, CJ. And thank you, Owen, for the congratulations. I'd like to also thank my mom, my dad, my dog, my wife. God, you know, couldn't do it without them. Good race. It was fun. I wish it was a little more eventful, to be honest with you. I didn't want to like just dominate it. Was not expecting to be that way. First time dipping into setups. I think my difficulty may be a little too low to actually do custom setups. It makes us a little too fast. But hey, we'll see how it goes. We were competing hardcore last couple weeks. This is our first race win of the season. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. I just want to see the start of the race real quick. We're not going to watch the entire replay. Just want to see them start. Right here we're racing wheel to wheel with Vettel. Beat us down in turn 1. Had the preferred line there on the inside there. Keep me there on the outside. Mercedes behind us and Red Bull behind him. But right here we're able to get the jump on him, I think. Or not quite, not yet. Red Bull works his way into third. Love to see the heat haze down there on the game. Looks pretty dope. The sparks flying. Hamilton pushes himself on the outside of Red Bull. What's up, Gonzo? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can see us pushing the car really hard. He's trying to get that lead off of out of Vettel. He was definitely slow, like a lot slower than us. Obviously, I mean, we once we got by him, we took off and left them. We were trying to be patient early on. We weren't really sure how the car was going to handle, how the car was going to feel in these conditions. We hadn't really practiced a lot in traffic. Coming on a long stretch here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Look at that mirage effect. That's pretty cool. Down in the last turn. Overdrove it though, almost lost it, but we held onto the lead. From here on out, it was us. It was all us. That was a pass for lead right there. It was over after that. Such a strong car. Anyways, guys, let's go take a look and see how this affects our career. We haven't really looked at the career screen all that much. I haven't really showed you guys the career screen all that much this season. So I'm going to go to advance, and we'll see what kind of interviews we got going on.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Oh, sure.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
The secret is I'm the best driver on the track. That's no secret. There's no secret. It's a great team and car. I'm gonna say the secret is I'm the best driver. It's no secret.
You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win?
It really was, but I couldn't have done it without my team. The car was amazing. It was fantastic. These things go way too fast. There's no way I can read all that in time.
Looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
We've made some tweaks. Reliability has been our focus. They did work on the engine. Okay, that's where it's at. I wish they give you more time.
Today, it looked like you had a really good strategy for the race.
Good strategy. Car for Manny Tires. Well, I raced hard. I got a podium finish. That's good strategy. Okay, cool.
Appreciate your time.
Back to the paddock we go. Yeah, the interviews, the questions just go way too fast. They need to slow that down, the timer down, because there's no way I can read all the responses and decide which response to do in time. So obviously we're killing the rivalry right now against our teammate. You know, he's barely scored any points this whole season, so we've been just beating him so bad off of Van Doorn. So we'll see if we can get a new rivalry with somebody who's a little bit more who can be more competition for us. Session participation, session total. Cool, cool. Let's see what our reputation looks like. Wow. Big reputation boost right there after getting our first win. Everybody's looking at us. McLaren's reputation went up. Our reputation went up with Ferrari, Aston Martin, Red Bull, Mercedes, everybody. Everybody's looking at us. So we'll see what happens. Got some more sportsmanship.
Great work this weekend. It was fantastic to see you up on that podium.
I like how they keep saying up on the podium, like I didn't just win this race. Anyways, let's see what's going on down here before we get out of here.
We've received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
All right, thank you. So Carl says, Debrief, The notes from the debrief are fairly simple today. Got onto the podium, good drive, consistent pace, stayed out of trouble. That doesn't mean there's no improvement to be found, so don't get complacent. But you did well this weekend. Obviously, I freaking won the race. Emma, we got an invitational. Before you leave here, have a look at the invitational events options on the advanced screen. There's no obligation to participate, but the option is there. To be honest with you guys, I am not a huge fan of all the throwback races. Like, I like that they have it here. I like that there's an option to do it. I also like that you don't have to do them anymore. In F1 2017, they basically forced you to do all the you know, the throwback races when you jump in the old school cars. I just was never really into that. I just want to do career mode, and so that's kind of one thing that turned me off from F1 2017 was the fact that I had to do that. So you see right here, Germany racing and the 2010 Red Bull racing RB6 car. We also have a time attack in Brazil racing the 1972 Team Lotus, and then we have next weekend. So I don't know if I skip these if I can't go back to them, or like if this is only going to happen between this race and next weekend. So I'm not sure, but I'm most likely not going to do it. I'm definitely not going to stream it, at least not now. Maybe later on in the season, if you guys want to see that, if I get enough requests for it, maybe we'll try it. Real quick, let's take a look at our power unit section. So let's see, expected laps 439, expected lifespan 152, overall wear 38%. So we can probably change that out. Motor generator unit, everything else looks decent. Gearbox is at 54% wear. It says number of races completed with gearbox is 3. It says completed races 3 of 6. So it does say you do 6. The event gearbox is required for use in P3 qualifying and race sessions as per Article 23.5. Sport blah 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 blah. An event gearbox must be used in these sessions for 6 consecutive race weekends before being replaced. So yes, we do have to use this gearbox for 6 weekends. One thing I need to do personally is I need to switch out my gearbox during P1 and P2, so I'm not using the gearbox because it's only required to use it during practice 3, qualifying, and race sessions. So we can save it, probably make it last a bit longer if I don't use it in P1 and P2. So we can use our practice gearbox, which I'm not sure if we've been using that or not. So anyways, power unit, so I think we can fit a new one. Can we just probably fit a new one? Let's see. A modern Formula 1 power unit consists of 1.6 liter, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. As these components wear, the unit will lose power, leading a reduction in performance. So it doesn't say we have to, we can only change it a certain amount of times. It looks like we're only going to get 3 of them unless we buy a new one. What's up, Myro? Good to see you, man. Dominican boy, good to see you as well. We're all done. I'm just kind of going through some last debriefing things. So as you can see, we're in 5th in the standings. Pretty good going into race 3. I'm not sure we're racing next week yet. R&D tree. Let's see what our R&D progress is. We did a whole bunch of R&D last week. I don't know if they're all done yet. I think they are, though. The one section I really want to work on is durability, because I don't want to run into issues where our stuff stops working. What's the recommended upgrade? Oh, it's in development right now. Something's in development. What is this? Energy store wear, turbocharger wear, ice wear. Oh, we need to develop that right there. Control electronics wear, MGU, gearbox. Right now we're in development is a gearbox. It's going to reduce the reduction 12%, and I'll go ahead and do this right here. We got a lot of resource points that we can use, so we'll develop that right there. So that way the ICE will last a whole lot longer. I think we also probably should spend some time in the aerodynamic department. I feel like we have enough power. Let's do with aerodynamics because I would love to be able to turn better in all ways. Mainly the rear end of the car, which is actually looks like it's already in development. Yeah, so never mind. So they're still working on stuff that's not done yet. I thought we were done. So yeah, it looks like everybody else is still working on stuff. Okay, cool. So we can't make any more changes until they finish that what they're already working on. So yeah, next weekend I'm gonna skip the time attack and the pursuit because I'm not always gonna do that right now. Let's see, we're racing next weekend. Looks like is this Baku? No, Azerbaijan, however you say that. I love this track. This track is super dope. Looking forward to this. So we'll be racing here for round 4, week 4. And I'll see you guys
we were
later
expecting
on.
some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control.
Oh no.
Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
That's great. So looks like some stuff we tried to develop failed inspection. We have to redevelop them, so we're gonna be a bit behind on some of our development. That's okay. Engine power crankshaft failed, and I think that's it. So we have to redevelop that. Everything else completed, so we'll be able to fit those parts for practice 1, which we will do the next race in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it for you guys who did stick around. Thanks you guys for stopping by. Remember, you got 3 choices though. Actually, before we get out of here, I forgot the motivational quote of the day. I gotta do that. Learn to put everything you got into everything you do. That is today's motivational quote of the day. Learn to put everything you got into everything you do. Thank you guys so much. Remember, you got 3 choices. Give up, give in, or give it all. You got peace, love, and God bless. I'll see you guys next time, next video.